is on.
All right. Well, my clock
Have you
says
tagged
it's 10
me in
o'clock,
that?
everybody. So it is what, Rita?
It is Fed Friday.
And thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us today. We have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Anika Weber from Safe House LL.
Anika Brewer.
Anika, I have renamed Anika.
I think she's changed the B and the W. She's put it in her. She's like, this is scrambled, but it's not. It's Brewer.
Anika Brewer. Y'all bear with us. You know, this is live. Hey, I'm doing my best. Hard to my head, not who I'm hard at, okay? But I guess I need to pull up our, Fed Friday so we can go ahead and get started here.
Y'all,
It's Friday, and I'm having a good time. It's beautiful weather. We're at the end of our Indian summer, I think. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, we have a special guest host on here today with us, Anika Brewer, joining Rita and I. And thank you all for, again, jumping on for our Fed Friday series. Here for all of you newcomers, this is our information. Please spread the word, share it, like it on your Facebook page. Email everyone that you know so they can jump on to get this very important and relevant information that we give each week. So we're pulling back the curtains to help you reach your financial destination. And again, the information we're going to be giving out is very general in nature. Without knowing your specific situation, we can't give you direct. Rita, what am I trying to say?
This
direct.
generic. We can't get to their specific situation, but she getting it, y'all. It's Friday. She's had a long week, so we're gonna get started.
I'm excited, though. I'm excited. How about you? So this month, seriously though, you all, this month is not only Breast Cancer Awareness Month that everyone knows about, but it's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month as well. And that's why we have Anika Brewer on the line with us. We want to bring a face to this ongoing problem that we're facing. And not only do we talk about your benefits and money, these type of issues directly affect your money, which is why we are bringing it to the forefront, trying to do our part to bring awareness to it. And as I started researching this and getting into it, the facts, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men that are on here listening now and that will see this later, men are often overlooked. But they too will experience violence from their partners and in their families. 1 in 3 teens will experience sexual or physical abuse or threats from a boyfriend or girlfriend this year and ongoing each year. 1 in 5 women are survivors of rape. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 5 men have experienced some form of sexual violence in their lives. Somebody you're working with, someone that's on here right now, may have been through this situation. We just wanted to let you know you are not alone. And 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men is on both sides. We often hear about the women because that's, most prevalent, but men are going through this too. And men, we know you are out there. They were also sexually abused before the age of 18. And Rita's going to come on a little later after Anika speaks because she is here to share her story. So welcome, Anika. Thank you so much for having the courage to get on and share with our audience, your story from your experience with this issue. So welcome.
And just for everybody to know, Anika is my church member. We are members of Unleashing Arrested Development. And we used to carpool every Sunday. I pick her up. We have a good time in the Lord. But she told me her story. And it was so moving because we do know, and them not being religious, that there is a God that cares about us and that will protect us. But then sometimes God needs us to help him out. And so what her story would tell how her story, don't let it think about it's just about you. It could be your sister, could be your brother. Like Miss Jean said, your co-worker sitting next to you could be going through this. So it's important for us to all come together, watch the signs. We're not going to get through anything unless we do it together.
Okay. That is absolutely right. So, Anika, because everyone, Anika's going to have to get off, so we want to make sure we get all of the information from her. So, Anika, tell us, why did you found, how did Safe House LLC come about? What happened that you started Safe House?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can, but you are
Can you hear me?
choppy, so can you speak up just a little bit?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so sheet state that 1 out of 3 women are abused, and I was one of those women. It started actually early on in my first marriage. I would say after I was like in the middle of the first year, I started to see signs. I knew the signs was there, but unfortunately, of course, as you pay attention.
Anika.
Oh, I think we lost her. I'm sorry, you all. I really want you to
tell her to just forget about us seeing her and just speak straight to the phone. We got her website up.
Okay.
Right. Just talk straight into the phone.
Okay,
Anita.
so.
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, great. It was actually my. Okay, so as I was saying before, I was one of the 3 women that was abused within my first marriage, and it happened. It started very physically, and from there, I got tired, and this was my final attempt of putting him out, knowing that. But I always went back because of fear. So when I finally put him out, he decided to take matters into his own hands in November. He came back to take my life before my daughter. And both, by the grace of God, both the bullets missed.
So when you say both the bullets missed, he
yes.
bought a weapon there while you were with your daughter to shoot you in front of your daughter. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes. He bought a gun, and the gun he used to shoot me. He was aiming for my head, but by the grace of God, both of the bullets missed. And the third time that the gun locked. So
wow.
Yes.
Our God is so good. And let me just ask you, so before it escalated, when you decided you were going to leave, like, okay, I'm going to leave, and he didn't want you to leave, were there any signs? Like, why did you stay? Were there signs that, hey, this person, my husband, could go off the rails? I need to get out of here. What can you tell us so that others can examine, if they're in this situation, what they could do?
Honestly, there were signs, but it was never signs that, okay, hey, this guy could possibly kill me. The signs were he was becoming more aggressive. He was becoming more demanding. He was becoming more controlling. And exhibiting those type of signs, I thought, okay, you know what, if I was to be a little kinder, if I was to close my mouth so he wouldn't have to hear me nagging about the things that he was doing to not secure this marriage, but actually damage it, then maybe he will improve. And then because I love him, and this is the main word, love, that we use so loosely, but at the same time, it's so caring, that we care so much that we rather dismiss the signs, and that in fact is what I did.
Okay, so oftentimes in these situations, it seems, based on your story, that the victim will start blaming themselves for the situation occurring and trying to fix the situation.
Yes, most definitely. You will go through periods of time where so that you will feel that I am to blame. I am fault of this, but in no means are you the fault. You should really look and evaluate yourself. It's important for us women and also us men, I mean, not as men, but for men to know their self-worth, because going into a relationship, you must know who you are first, because within that first to second to third year is the shaping of your marriage, but also too is the shaping of you. The impartation, a person can impart into you what it is that he or she wants to see reciprocated. But in an instance of someone dealing with domestic violence, usually the abuser is all about controlling, because he or she wants to do and manipulate the situation to work out for them.
Right. And Anika, let me ask you just a couple of more things. So
Sure.
what made you leave? Because you decided to leave before he tried to kill you. What made you leave, and how did you get out? What did you do? What are some things you can tell people that may be on here now or may listen to this later, how they can get out?
Okay. I would say a few pointers here. First of all, as I stated before, I said love. Now you have to turn the love that you was giving to this person, turn it to yourself. First, love yourself enough to want people to leave, want better for yourself. Because I was in a relationship with this gentleman, and remember that whoever is around us, even though we might not physically say
Can
things,
you move from where you were? Can you move back to where you were? Because this is very important, and we want to get this because you're very choppy. Can you just shift back over to the right so we can get this right, get us right information, please?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
The main thing is that for us.
Oh, please, y'all, don't leave. You want to hear this. You want to hear this. Anika, don't worry about the video. Let's just get the audio.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead. So how did you get out? What can a person do that may be in this situation to get out?
Okay, well, what a person mainly can do is seek help. Seek help to see not only the person which you are being hurt, but the people around you that has been hurt about the situation. Go to the nearest police station. Go to the nearest hospital, because every hospital should have a domestic violence unit. Seek legal counsel and also protection for themselves.
Okay, that is very important. And I have Anika's website up here. Oftentimes, like in doing this information, thank you so much, Anika, for sharing your information. And I have her website up right now so you all can see what she's doing. She works in the community. She works with the police departments. They do community events to get the word out on domestic violence. I will have her contact information up a little later on in the presentation, but I did want you to see that she has her website up, and you can go there and get information and resources. Because one of the things that I noticed, and as Anika stated, and that we have here, reach out for help. There is help there. Here on the screen is information on the National Domestic Violence Hotline. You can go to their website. If you're in the government, each agency should have an employee assistance program. This is the link here. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit so you can type it down, snap a picture, whatever you need to do. But when you go to this link, all of the programs that assist employees are there. On the right-hand side, it's going to be the employee assistance program. When you click on that, it's going to automatically click the administrator's name. Just unclick the administrator and hit search, and the agencies will come up with all of the information directly to the EAP office. You can reach out to them if you need help. If you don't have access to the computer, when I went online to the domestic violence hotline, a drop down came up that said, hey, your computer could be monitored. Call us on the phone. They don't want to get into, more trouble because and I hate to say more trouble, because when you're in an abusive relationship, the abuser could be monitoring everything that you're doing. And we just want to try to give you a way out for everything. And when we think about abuse, it not only affects us physically and mentally, it affects us emotionally, everything. And when we're affected emotionally, it then leads to how we interact every day in life.
Yes.
And one of the things that Rita is going to start going over with us is our connection, our emotional connection to our money and to our spending. So thank you so much, Anika, for joining us. You all, we will have her information up towards the end. We appreciate your courage. We appreciate you starting, giving an additional resource in the community to help those that are in need. So thank you so much for helping ABS with our mission to help as many people as we can out here. Thank you so much, Anika.
Thank you for having me.
So Rita, would you start getting to how these type of traumas, affect our spending?
All righty. Well, thanks again, Anika. And it's so important that we begin to come out of our don't want anybody to know our business and to not share, because many lives could have been saved because we didn't share. And what I'm going to talk about today is how our emotional life affects our spending. And because I was a victim of not domestic violence, but of abuse. Yes. And so out of that emotion, I began to spend, and my life became, how do I take back control? And many times our control is what we think we can control, because that situation that happened to us, that pain, that hurt, that violation, whether it was rape, whether it was molestation, whatever it was, that thing had a control. Because we're no longer going to allow that to control us, we take control. And how we take control is that our emotions are angry, we're bitter, we're sad, we're lonely, we feel abandoned, all of those things. And we operate out of that place. So for me, my mother died when I was 11. I had some other things happen. I started to spend my money based on how I feel. I wanted to cover up how I feel. So I bought clothes, I bought expensive cars. I did all of this stuff to make me feel good. But in the end, it doesn't make you feel good. It is a numbing effect. And when the numbing nerve, the drug come off, the pain comes back. And so until you really deal with the root of it, it doesn't have it's not good for you. So now for men and women, it's the same. So whether you're the victim or you're the person who did the abuse, you still have the same emotion, because whether you feel guilty or someone hurt you, normally hurt people. So we're sometimes so upset about the person who hurt us. We gotta sometimes have compassion, and that's another whole story for me, because I feel like my eldership's about to kick in about the word. But we're gonna go forward to this finances. So emotional spending, operating out of the emotional state, not only has a major impact on our physical body, but it can be detrimental to our finances as well. So we know that stress, I'm doing a series now at church to show how the mind and the emotion have a major impact on our body. And they say 9/10 of our diseases come from our mind and where we are in our emotional state. So shopping has become an addiction, just like drugs, just like alcohol. They all are a temporary numbing the pain. So you shop. So I shopped a lot. I would go into Macy's to buy some pantyhose, and I would walk out the door with $600 worth of suits, shirts. I, bought a house I couldn't afford. Many of you have heard my story that I had a $5,000 mortgage in 2004. $5,000. What was that for? That was for to make me feel good. But it didn't last long, because I end up now, not only did I have that emotion, I now have the stress of trying to work hard to keep the home. And so all of these things just cause you to be in a place. So Ms. Jean, so let's look at them. The emotion money connection. So when you're feeling sad and angry, shopping can become your retail therapy. So instead of going to a real therapy, you go shopping, because that makes you feel good. And we got 12 pair of black shoes. We got 13 blue suits. We got all of this stuff. Many of us women, sometimes men, I know one point, before I moved, I had so many clothes. I had clothes at Darlene's house, clothes at my best friend Sophia's house, clothes at my mother's house, clothes at my pastor's house, and 2 closets in my house. I had clothes. What was that for? And eventually, when I got healed, all those clothes are gone. I'm down to 2 closets of clothes. So we got to realize that shopping doesn't help us. So sacrificing our future financial goals for this short-term emotional fix. So whether it's shopping or you're buying electronics or you got 1,000 cell phones and laptops and iPads and computers, or you're just going on every trip you want to go, or you're just going out to eat every day. Whatever it is that you spend your money on that's stealing from the old you, because of this place of being sad or angry, you have to come to a place of healing.
And so the solution is my computer just decided to restart.
So when you're in this state, consult your spouse or friend or financial expert first, and then practice delayed gratification. You can also try exercising or watching a funny movie. She got up here watching Funny Money, because when you're in the state, your money will get funny. I know, but you see, laughing increases your T cells.
Yes, I had to take it away from her, you guys. You know we funny. And so, or enjoying some quality times with your family and your friends. And so sometimes when you're in that state of being sad, don't stay in that place. Seek help. Go to people. There's many times that me and Jenkins, sometimes it could be rough, but we'll call each other and we laugh so hard that eventually we almost forget about what we was going through, because me and her like little, just, I don't know, we just giggling, we're just laughing. And so laughing is good for your T cell. It helps you to actually heal. Of course, feeling scared. Now you're scared because of Anika's story. You heard her story. You don't know if every time you go home, you on pins and needles. If you say hi to him or her too loud, they snap, or if the food is not right. Or is it just fear because you just afraid to move? You're afraid. For me, being, I just got married about 3 years ago. But one of the things I was always afraid of, and it's still a fear, is like, I don't want to grow old and be broke. And so sometimes even that fear can have us to operate our finances in a wrong way. So fear has the opposite effect of being angry. Fear being old and broke, or not being able to or live alone without your abuser. See, some people, even though they are being abused, they're afraid to leave because they don't think they're going to be able to survive without them. So we may invest too conservative out of fear of losing our money, or we don't spare anything, fear that we may need this money to get away. In both cases, fear keeps you from making decisions that improves your financial future. So if you're always so scared, as they always say, I got some scared money, but they said scared money can't make money. So you just want to make sure that you're not operating out of a place of fear. What's the solution for that? Seek some professional help for your emotions. So there's counselors out here, whether it's at church or you go see a psychologist or whoever, a life coach, whatever you may need, you want to seek the help. And then you want to seek a financial planner that can assist you with your financial needs, so they can help you create a plan that's best for you, and that you're not operating out of emotion. You're operating out of a sound, clear financial mind. The last one we're going to talk about today, because this thing can go long, is the feeling of guilt. Most of our guilt comes from our internal belief, what we believe, and it operates contrary to what we feel. And our spending reflects it. So example, your spouse is abusive and control your money. So when you leave, you out of here, you got free. And now, even you just had a bad marriage and you're free. Now you can buy whatever you want to buy. And because you now have control, you go buy way too much stuff. Or because your parent, the other parent, was not in your children's life, you want to compensate. And so you want to be the mother and the father, and you go buy too much stuff because you grew up with not too much. So now you want to give your kids 12 pair of Air Nikes because you want them to have what you didn't have. But they don't need 12 pair. Maybe they only need 1 pair at a time. And you can take the money from the other 10 and invest it for them, for their education or for your future. So seek counseling for your emotions. Put yourself on a budget to control and to monitor your spending, and consult a financial professional. For me, I was absolutely out of control. Between my house and my car note, I was paying between 2001 and 2004, $8,000. That's the upkeep, $8,000 a month. then I had to still eat, and then I had to buy clothes, and those clothes made me feel good because inside I didn't think I was good enough. I stutter, as you guys can tell, week after week. And for growing up, that was a big thing that people made me feel like I was slow or dumb. And so I was always trying to prove to people who I was. You can operate all of those emotions. That was an emotion of not feeling good. I didn't feel good enough. So I purchased a house thinking that that would make me feel good. It's a big, pretty house. It's all of this fancy stuff. And at the end of the day, it did not make me feel good. It made me more stressed. So it was compound emotions over top of emotion. So we hope that today truly helped you. We're going to have to share screens. So here comes my partner. Hey. So we just want you to know that we do appreciate you taking time today to listen. And it's just so important for us. She's grabbing me near her, just sharing, because, you know, my face is big, so y'all got to get me. So it's just important for us to just want to bring you something else. It's just not about your retirement plan, your 401k, your life insurance. All those things are affected if your emotion and going through what you heard Miss Brewer go through. If we're not in a healthy place, it has an impact on our entire life, not just our body, our mind, our emotions, our spirit, our finances, all of it. So we thank you today. And I'm going to let Ms. Jenkins take it back over because my head is kind of big.
She is crazy. She got a big head because there's a lot of information up there, y'all.
That's my best friend.
And don't think because mine is small that it doesn't hold as much, because it does. Big things come in little containers as well. Okay. But again, we have the information up, for the domestic violence hotline. If you need it, if you think you know someone who needs it, just tell them to watch this video. You don't have to say, here, there are ways we can reach out and help. So here's the information. Go to Employee Assistance. Say, hey, I watched Fed Friday. You should join, and direct them to this. Go on Facebook and look at it. This video again at the bottom of the screen. You also see the information for Anika Brewer. Anika Brewer. Did I just say Weber again? Anika Brewer's Safe House LLC. You want to go visit that website. Also, next week we're going to be going over Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're going to have 2 healthcare providers on here: Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and we don't know. It's going to be 2
That's
of
the
your health.
20th, y'all. Next week, we're going to talk about breast cancer awareness and having plans in place to help protect you during those times.
See, that's why you have a partner all over everywhere, y'all. But thank you so much for joining us. And that's it. This is our contact information. Of course, if you have any questions, if you want to get your finances aligned, then please reach out to us. We're going to hang around and answer any questions that you may have. But again, thank you so much for joining us.
We hope you enjoyed this session today. As you can see, I'm tired, because when I'm tired, I stutter. And, obviously she's all over the place, but we still got it done today. We wanted to make sure that we bring you good information. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. And please help each other out. And it's not just the women. It is the men too. So we need each other to make it through these tough times. So thank you. We have a lot of fun, but we're really serious about helping to change people's lives.
Exactly. Thank you. So we'll see you next week here on the broadcast. Bye, Facebook.
Friday.
It's Fed Friday. Yes, it is.
Thank God.
Fed Friday it is. It is. All right. Bye, you all.
Questions?
You have a question? Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to get off of Facebook. No, that's it.